Hey everybody, and welcome back to Shy Ride's coverage of the St. Paddy's Day Meltdown. Here we have part 1 of round 2, and joining me today instead of Coda, we have Dale Ryden.
Thanks, hey everybody.
One of the film men on this two-man crew. Were you the lead or the catch cam?
I was catch cam both of the rounds.
Nice. So, for round 2, we've got Kyle Griffin leading the pack at 8 down. Joe Rovere is just behind him at 7. And Justin Cournoyer representing South Dakota and Luis Yanez representing Northern Colorado. He's Fort Collins local at 4 down.
Yep, should be a good round. I really enjoy watching all these guys play. Very different styles.
Oh, definitely. We might see some lefty backhands from Kyle every once in a while. Not to mention his lefty exclusive putt with the right-hand backhand drive, as you can see.
And Justin has such a good sidearm. That's always enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Such a difficult hole here.
Oh, stay in bounds.
Oh.
That's a rough way to start the round.
Yeah, here's Joe. They have that Mando tree up there. Makes this a really touchy drive here.
Really? Oh, wow. Is this going OB2? Wow.
Yeah.
2 for 2 so far. Now, honestly, the thing that makes this hole the most difficult is that little tiny tree right there in the middle of the fairway, because it is right there in the middle, and so you do kind of have to go left or right of it with the way the trees are down the fairway, and they're kind of low-hanging branches.
That's a nice safe play, but that makes for a tough upshot.
Yeah,
that
that's
OB
not...
is right behind that basket.
If you land over there, it's not really the birdie play, but it should be an easy enough par. And there's Luis cranking out. I wonder what he... Oh, did he miss the Mando? Oh, man.
So now he's at the drop zone here, which that's not an easy shot either.
No. Already making him bust out his sidearm. Oh, what?
That's kind of tricky that they have those flags to bring that out-of-bounds line in. You don't even have to be in the water to be out of bounds.
Yeah, and that is just barely out of bounds. Looks like you put a good amount of touch on that.
Yeah, that's a nice approach shot by Kyle there.
A little far, but he's got, what, 15 if that?
Yeah.
Justin just laying up for a par.
Yeah, that's a tougher shot than he made it look from there, though.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a good approach shot by Joe.
Yeah, also just laying up for sure. Tapping a 5 to start.
That's a tough way to start.
Yeah. Good thing it's not a one-hole round.
Yeah. And with that hole, that's not given that many up to the field.
No, it played surprisingly harder than I thought it would.
Yeah. I don't know what the stats were on it, but that's the only par right there by Justin.
Yeah, I was going to say the card went 4 over for 4 people.
Yeah. There's Joe tapping out his bogey. They had a lot of really difficult holes on this layout. This was not an easy layout this year.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little better about bogeying at both rounds. And on to hole 2.
It's always a fun hole.
Yeah, we didn't see any of the top card, any of our featured card last round take the big Anheuser line. Let's see if anyone does this time. It already looks like Mr. Cournoyer's lining that up. I'm hoping he's lining it up. It's a really fun shot to watch. Sure enough. Did he get enough turn on that? Yeah.
Kind of stalled out there at the end, but that'll put him in decent position.
Yeah, it stalled out around the tree at least, so.
I think it was more in play when they had the tee box in other positions for teeing off in previous years.
Yeah.
This one, they're lined up perfectly for it. It's hard to pass up that nice shot up the middle.
Yeah, and Kyle made that look really easy.
Yeah.
Joe's going to try to follow Kyle right through, and looks like he did.
And as long as you can put it through that tunnel there, which isn't that narrow, so it's not too tough of a shot, but you just don't want to get caught up in there.
Yeah, because it's a little bit of a tighter gap going up that way.
Yeah.
But it is probably quite a bit safer. And Luis might have leaked that one up a little high.
Oh,
yeah.
Caught that in tree on the left there. So and this really will tighten up the positioning of this next shot, so...
Yeah, at least this tree has had its branches pruned somewhat recently, so he's got a line under it.
Looks like he's taking that left line, going more straight at
Doing
it.
the skip shot.
Skipped it under that tree.
Yeah, that's a long putt, but it's there.
Justin's also choosing the straighter line.
Got away from him just a little bit, but still a putt.
See, and this is the nice part of going up that right side off the tee, is it leaves you this nice hyzer approach at the basket. Just don't want to let it go too far left, because there's OB over there.
Yeah. Just short of that picnic bench, it looked like. I'm surprised they didn't move the picnic bench too much off the green, but if it was there for the first person, it's got to stay there.
Joe actually got caught in that second tree. It was kind of blocked by the first tree there.
I think he did that last year, too.
He did. He was pretty stressed out about it. He didn't want to have that happen 2 years in a row where he couldn't
he was
find
thinking
it
about
in
it?
there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He started going straight up that tree when we found it.
You did
found
find
out
it?
it was in there, but we did find it this
good
time.
birdie putt. Yeah, so for those who don't know, Joe threw basically that same shot last year and ended up with a lost disc in that tree and had to go rethrow, and I think he took a bogey on this hole.
I think so.
It was a really unfortunate shot because he would have basically had that
was a good
last year,
birdie
so that's a
putt
great
there.
birdie.
Well, and they had to call it a lost disc because they weren't sure which of the two trees it was in.
Right, we couldn't find it in the tree. It wasn't like it crossed an OB line or anything. You have to get
Right.
it live from the shot.
That was a good putt by Kyle. These guys making this hole look fairly easy.
Yeah. Luis with a par, which really isn't bad on this hole, but
No,
it'll lose him stroke to everyone on the card. Really good play from the entire card there.
indeed, that's a more difficult hole than they made it look.
Yeah, Justin's catching up just a little bit. He's gained a stroke on Kyle and Joe since the beginning of the round. This is a hole where it's really easy to lose strokes quickly.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those out here.
Mm-hmm.
But this first shot's all about getting in the right position.
Yeah, you can attack the green if you want, but you really don't want to.
Yeah, it did take a pretty precise technical shot to get to the green just right.
A technical smash.
Yeah, technical smash, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've honestly got a better chance doing it just throwing it in from short of the OB line.
Yeah, throw it over the creek into there.
If you can put it where Joe put it after the first round, you have a chance to run it. I mean, Joe was 10 feet short of the line in his first round.
That was about as perfect as you can get.
And let this one go a little left, and that's a really tricky line from there. I mean, it's hard to get it far enough left with how wide you have to throw it to get around those first trees, at least.
Right, because there is still a lot of trees in the way.
He didn't turn that.
Yeah, he's leaking a little left, too.
Stay safe.
Okay. Which, being short, he'll actually have a better look than Joe does, because Joe's closer to those trees.
Potentially. Kyle's going for it through the gap. He just clipped it. Did he put enough power on it? Nice shot. What was that?
Yeah, I
What was
think
that second disc?
Luis threw in at the same time. Nobody realized who was throwing.
Kyle was kind of behind that tree there.
Yeah.
Well, good shots from both of them.
Yeah.
And a great shot from Justin.
Looks like Joe's just gonna lay up out of there. He was too close to those trees to want to go for it.
I think he had to.
It's probably a smart choice.
Yeah.
That'll save him a par. Or should.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't tell me he bounces out on this.
Right. Little shenanigans there.
Oh, putting on Luis's disc?
Yeah. Always good to have a little fun with when you're out there.
Luis deserves it. Good
birdie.
Are these all for birdie here? I think so, right?
I think so. I think Joe was the only one that wasn't putting for birdie.
Wow. I don't think we've seen a star frame yet. I was talking to Coda about that last round. We had a chance for a star birdie at one point. But
that's still a pretty well played hole. That hole is really difficult. It's easier than it's been in previous years, but only to a point.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, the play is still really similar. Just get short of that OB line. And
just got to play for position and then play for position again.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the less difficult holes, I would argue, on the course. As you were just seeing, about half of everyone, just shy of half, birdie it.
Yeah.
Just shy of half par.
I think the people on the bench there might make it a little more difficult for this sidearm play just because they'd be in my head a little bit. But I usually throw the hyzer skip shot on this hole anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was a big problem for Justin.
No. He's got such a smooth sidearm, I don't think he worried about him much at all.
As long as that slides, there's a little bit... Oh, man.
Caught the tree.
There's a lot less snow on this hole than there was yesterday. That exposed a lot more of that pine straw, so it was a little easier to get the skip on it the second day.
Yeah.
But
that's a really nice shot from Luis.
At the same time, it squirts a lot easier like that.
Right. And like Justin's did, squirting all the way back to the snowbank. Good thing that was there. It might have gone OB in the parking lot.
That did look great off the tee pad.
That's what you want.
Pretty parked. Kyle's not one to lay up, so I bet he's running this. Over the branch? Oh.
I know it looked like he was really trying to decide whether he wanted to go over or under that branch.
Yeah, he wasn't deciding whether or not to run it, he was deciding how.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, good thing the nickel was there.
Yeah, because that could end up way back down that hill.
Yeah, good save. Neither of the Griffin boys have ever been known for laying up. I don't think ever.
That's true.
Neither does Luis, really. But he's not going to have to. Great birdie. Joe gets the birdie that evaded him last time on this hole.
Yeah. Justin tap out his par. That was a really good run he put on that. Mm-hmm. Definitely running it, hitting up on that nickel on top there.
Yeah, just slightly downhill from where he was.
Yeah. And it drops off a lot more right behind it. Just can really take off on you running it like that.
So we got Luis on the box for this temporary hole that we've got going uphill with the elevated basket. As long as that fades, that looks pretty perfect. Oh, yeah, just fine.
Yeah, without the snow, it might have skipped up a little closer, but that'll work.
Let that go just a little late, it looked like, but that'll give him a putt for sure. Yeah.
With that slightly elevated basket.
Makes it a little more difficult, but definitely still in Joe range. That looks like it's got the right height. Oh, maybe too much?
Oh, just got an unfortunate kick off that last branch.
Man, he really put a move on it, though, to get up to those branches. And still be that high going up the hill.
So it's quite a bit uphill here. That 350 about that it is
makes it play
a bit longer.
Farther,
yeah.
Plus, it's a hyzer the whole way.
Right.
Makes it play a little longer as well. And that ends up being a layup. just on the edge of the snow. Oh, man.
I know a lot of people really struggled with their footing, even on their putting with the snow.
Yeah, I found
like
myself getting excited as soon as
Yeah.
I found myself in a lie that was clear.
Right.
But you do got to wonder how much that little bit of snow affected him.
It's
Good
tough
save.
if you can't trust your footing.
Yeah.
Even on a putt, it can be tough if you can't trust your footing.
Yeah. Especially for someone who uses their legs a lot.
Yeah. Luis has such a spin putt, it probably didn't affect him too much on the putting.
No, I wouldn't think so. There's not a whole lot that affects him on putting, honestly.
That's true.
And with that spin putt, I mean, I've seen Luis hit 100-plus foot jump putts
Yeah.
routinely. Tapping a par there for Joe. And we'll move on to hole 6. Got everyone back under par on the round after the difficult start that was hole 1.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty birdieable par 4.
Yeah, if you put the right move on it, it is very reachable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you can throw a roller to get there. With the snow, that's not really a great option. If there was less
Right.
snow, I'm sure we would have seen more of that. But it is a really good, safe hole if you want to just throw it straight down the fairway, bail out, and then give yourself either a hyzer forehand or a backhand hyzer, depending on which side of
that's
the
a
tree
great
you want
place
to go.
to be where Luis ended up. You have equal option for either one.
Just right in the middle of that field.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little low.
Yeah. Easy to do. You're trying not to throw it too high so that you don't hit any of those branches.
Yeah. It's funny how a lot of times you'll do the opposite of what you're avoiding.
Right.
If you try not to hit the branches, you'll just put it into the ground.
This is a great shot by Justin here.
He's
That's
cutting the inside just a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a long jump putt, but it's
Yeah,
a look.
he actually almost went a little too far to have a good jump putt look, but
Oh, wow.
that's a great spot to be for sure. Makes it a definite possibility.
Yeah.
Another one just a little too
Yeah.
low, but as long as they're out, then it gives them a chance. Leaves you a nice hyzer line at the basket where Joe's at.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing that could have happened. As long as that kind of sneaks through the lower limbs like it did, he'll get a putt.
Yeah. Looked like maybe 15 to 20.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have the tree at his back, but it's not too hard. Not too
Right.
far. That's going to need to skip. Oh, man, that would have too. It looked like he
Yeah,
just caught
just
the end
caught
of the snow.
edge. Oh. See, and Luis has a pretty easy look here from where he ended up. Just pitch one up through the gap.
Why not? Take your 3 and run.
Yeah. See, if he'd have stopped 10 feet shorter, he'd have had a jump putt
Maybe a
look
better
right
look,
through the
yeah.
middle.
Instead, he's got to do that.
Yeah. But again, that's a pretty easy 3 from there. Take that on this hole any day.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, just kind of hidden in the tree. But looked like he found a pretty clear area in there.
Yeah.
Clear
it's
enough.
Not having to be pushing the branches back that are, having them pushing against his back even.
Yeah, found a nice pocket.
Yeah. I always like those nice, easy little short birdie putts.
Yeah, the best putts are the ones that really aren't even putts.
Yeah, like Justin's here, finally getting to drop in his birdie putt.
Well, there we go. Good putt, Justin. Still no par, no start
Have
rating.
a tie at the lead, and Justin's only 2 behind. Luis only 1 behind him.
Yeah, heating up
Turning
at
it
the front.
into a match for all 4 of them. Bringing them all into play again.
Mm-hmm.
This one's so hard to get to. That OB behind it is so long. Joe threw pretty quick on it. Pretty sure that's Joe there. He stepped up and...
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, that was Luis.
Okay.
And he just stepped up and threw. I wasn't even hardly done waiting for the other guys to get out of the way.
Look at that. Perfectly judged.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much less snow on this hole, especially, than there was yesterday.
Yeah.
And those skips are coming into play so much more. It's crazy how different the ground played on this hole between the 2 days. Pretty sure I threw 2 different discs on this hole the 2 different days because of that ground play.
I can understand that. That first day, you pretty much had to carry it the whole way there.
Which is a lot more difficult to do, I think.
Yeah. And that's what you see more often than not, just because nobody wants to bring that OB behind it into play, so they end up coming up short on it.
How much do you really want to test it?
Exactly.
This is a good putt to have, though.
Yeah.
The kind of parallel to the sidewalk. It's not the riskiest thing in the world.
Right.
All right, so assuming Kyle's not laying this up, see if he makes it worth it. Oh, man.
I say it's safe to assume he wasn't laying that up.
At least he hit the basket.
Yeah, because that was going OB if he hadn't hit metal.
Oh, wow. That backdrop is just a little scary.
Yeah. Even shorter putts like that can be kind of intimidating when it's straight towards that out-of-bounds line. It's that close. Finally,
I've seen chain outs go out of bounds on this hole, so it is a little more nerve-wracking than a lot of the other putts out on the course and some of the other death-like putts on the course, because the OB is, I think that's as close as the OB gets to any basket out here.
I think so, yeah.
About a meter.
Yeah.
So Joe gets a stroke on everyone there.
Yep, takes the solo lead.
Mm-hmm. Going into hole 8, which I think Kyle is going to throw a lefty backhand on. At least I will be disappointed if I don't see it. That looks a little better than yesterday's drive from Joe. Oh, what? Wow.
That was pretty
so
amazing.
Close. It was better than yesterday's drive.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Seems like you see one of those in just about every group on this hole. That Mando
if that
right
Anheuser
there
gets cut down too quick.
Yep. Sidearm really is a better play. Or like you said, a lefty hyzer if you have that.
You can also go between the 2 trees. It brings the Mando a little more into play, but it's an option that's definitely there.
That is more the route I tend to take, like a
Kyle,
mid-range or a putter.
Yeah.
And just throw it through that gap, just barely making the Mando kind of.
That's what I ended up doing. Don't know if it was worth it, but I made the Mando both times. Long putt. Definitely was running that too with a harp.
Yeah.
So you know it's at least a little windy out there when Luis breaks his harp out.
You can see those branches moving around a bit. Definitely a little bit of breeze.
Kyle gave it a good run. Sacrificed the body a little bit to do it. Oh, wow, that just lifted the whole way.
Yeah, a little bit of headwind on it apparently. That just, it looked in the whole way, but just kept lifting.
Joe to get a birdie after the ace.
After, the near ace.
I don't know if that was a chain out, but that's at least $1 from the card.
Right. I'm pretty sure it hit rim and chain.
Yeah.
That was right on the edge there of being an ace.
Basket sure tried everything it knew to slow it down. But...
Yeah.
And Joe doesn't get a whole lot of tournament aces. He really doesn't overthrow that many holes that often.
Right,
so.
he's playing for the park, so.
Yeah. Great drive, anyway. For the only birdie again, so he'll take another stroke on everyone. And that'll extend the lead to 2. Luis with that slightly unfortunate roll out of bounds, but like you said, that's kind of a somewhat easy mistake to make on that hole with a headwind especially.
Yeah.
Turned it over a little too hard with a grippy putter. I'm sure he was throwing his medium pure. I'd throw my P1X on that line, X line, and they're just a little sticky if you get them down too low. That looks like Joe got tripped up by the tee pad a little bit.
That happens a lot. This tee pad has a little bit of an angle uphill that kind of throws the run up off.
Yeah, and they need to be resurfaced, a couple of these tee pads out here.
Yeah.
Maybe the city will do it for us eventually, or let us do it. That looked like a pretty decent shot. One of the better ways to play this hole I've found is kind of turn it over to the right, and a lot of the locals will do that. Turn it over to the right and then kind of sneak under that rightmost spruce right before the
if you can skip under that last tree, that's the best way to get yourself up there.
Turned it over a little too much, but I'm sure he was trying something similar. That was the idea.
Can see the flag up in the right corner there is blowing kind of towards him, a little left to right, so probably just got that underneath it.
Oh, did that one get turned over too?
Yeah, he looks like he got the good kick off the tree, though.
Pretty massive tree direction, and just under another tree.
Should have a lean out from there, though. A little better look than Joe has here.
That's the thing about Luis's form, is he has so much snap that a lot of times he'll hit something and just keep trucking because the disc does not want to slow down.
Here's Kyle going for, looks like that upshot you were talking about. Just slide it under that tree.
Yeah, if you can do that off the tee, that's kind of the local play. Oh, wow, Luis almost put that in.
Yeah, that went right by it.
Joe going to do kind of something similar? Or is he just laying up, do you think? Yeah.
I think that was probably just a layup. I don't think Justin's laying that up the way he's looking.
And he almost made it. That was a good run. Because that's a tricky putt. I mean, he had to straddle out around that tree, and that tree is on the circle's edge to start with. So it was definitely not the shortest putt. Plus, those trees block some of the wind. It's hard to read the wind on the green if you're behind them.
Yeah.
I know he still would have liked to make it, though. I would have, too. I'm sure you would have, too.
Oh, yeah.
Joe tapping in a bogey?
Yeah, he had to throw out from behind that one tree and then the sidearm up shot.
That's right.
So he got the drive blocked in on that tree, and there's not much you can do when you get behind those.
Yeah, gives one back to Kyle. Tightens it up a little bit at the top.
That's the end of our first 9. So we'll see you here soon with part 2.
Thanks, guys.